I sit in my car driving alone a lot for like 20 years, 8 days. 8 hours a day or so, besides working. I'm driving to and from jobs. My mind is going on and on and on. So I decided to go ahead and record it. Record what I'm thinking. I don't know, maybe somebody want to hear it. So I had a problem with my ex-fiance after 2 years being together. She's a probation officer. Actually just became one as we were breaking up. But she did work in the courts for like 15 years, worked in the probation department for another few years or so, legal secretary to the chief. She knows everybody in the legal system, and everybody adores her. So she breaks up with me for the 4th time, thinking I was cheating on her, and every other time she wanted me back, saying that she misunderstood. Sorry, I can't live without you, I messed up. Not this time. She went to the police academy and wouldn't answer my phone calls, wouldn't respond to my text messages for 2 weeks. She took our car that I paid for. I sold my Tahoe and put a down payment on this car. Made 3 payments of $400 each, $1,200, $2,000 down. That's $3,200 out the door. She took the car and sold it back to the dealership and got herself a new car. So I'm out that money. She takes the dolly, my dolly, says, "Can I use it?" And I'll bring it back. I said, "Sure." And she did not bring it back. I then, when I proposed to her in February, Valentine's Day, she wanted a princess cut. It was a $1,500 engagement ring. When I gave it to her, I said, "Look, you cannot keep this if you break up with me. This is, you got to marry me to keep that ring." So she did not return it when she broke up with me. By April, we were broken up, and she thought I was cheating on her again because I got some strange text message from a customer regarding hamburgers. This poor lady, she's dying of cancer, and obviously texted me the wrong person about hamburgers. So I didn't know her very well. I knew her a few hours at her house by remodeling, but Laura didn't believe me. She thought I was having some sort of an affair, and saying, "Well, that's not the kind of conversation you have with a customer. You must have something else going on." I'm like, no, that's not happening. I loved this girl, Laura. I loved her very much, all my heart. She was the only thing that made me happy. So she's gone now. It's been 2 weeks. She won't talk to me. I have a friend that works with her, and she told me that they are back home from police academy. So it's a Sunday. I go to her house. I said, knock on her window. She the door first, and then the window, because I saw her in the living room through the window. I said, "Please talk to me." She goes, "I can't. I've got a restraining order on you." I said, "Oh, you do? Well, I've never been served with a restraining order." She goes, "You haven't?" I said, "No." She goes, "Okay." So she calls the cops. The cops come. My car's in the driveway. I'm standing outside by my car. I'm not yelling or screaming. I'm not cussing. I'm not calling her names. I'm not threatening, anything like that. And the police come and find that I have a bench warrant for not paying child support on a case that's already been paid for. That's an error with the state of California. So they take me in. I pay a bond, or no, a purge payment they call it, and I'm out in a couple hours. So I get out. They wouldn't let me. Of course, I had to go back and get my car in Prescott Valley, and go back and get my car and go home. So I go home. I don't call her for a couple of days. I think it was Wednesday that I called and said, "Hey, I will never give up. I will never stop." Meaning that I will never stop loving you. I will never stop trying to get back together with you, or I'll never give up, basically. on us, because we had something good most of the time. And she was my best friend. She was great. We had fun everywhere we went. Anything we did, we had a good time. Until she went to these moments of thinking I was cheating on her, and then she'd just leave. It was just insane. But anyway, so she calls the cops, I guess, or talks to the cops and tells them, yes, I contacted her, because they said they served me when I was at her house on Sunday when they arrested me for that purge payment for child support. They did not give me any paper. They did not read me any papers. I know they were talking about a piece of paper while I was handcuffed and standing behind my car. I was crying the entire time, saying, Laura, please talk to me. She was like 60 feet away up on her patio. And so I kept saying, Laura, please talk to me. And the cop yells at me and says, shut your mouth before I slap you with a fucking felony. And I said, a felony? What the hell would I get a felony? How can I get a felony? Because I have a broken heart? And I didn't say, I was just thinking that, but I did say, felony for what? So he then just said, whatever, I'm just putting you in the car. We're done. Meanwhile, I go to jail and get out of jail. Nobody says anything about a restraining order. Nobody gives me a restraining order. I go home. I'm just picking up my car. And I have two cars. I have my weekend car and I have my work truck. And I work out of my truck all the time. Ooh, here comes the car. As a plumber. And so the car just sat there for the next week and a half, I guess. And we got another car. Ooh, one-way road. I call her. Well, anyway, let me back up. I get back to me calling her. I call her like on Wednesday, and she called the cops. And then the next day they came and arrested me at my house for not obeying this court order. They charged me with felony aggravated harassment. Felony. Took me to jail, the local jail. Then they put me in chains and shackles, wrapped on my body and hands and everything's chained down, and I gotta sit in a metal van, metal seats. It's the summertime, July-ish, and I get taken to a place that's like 60 miles away. So I'm there for about a day and a half, I think, maybe 2 days. And the judge says, okay, Mr. Thompson, you've been charged with a felony, aggravated harassment. It looks like you've never had one before. Can you afford an attorney? I said, no. He says, well, then we will appoint one for you, public defender. And good luck, and do not contact Laura at all. I said, okay, no problem. And that was like in July or June of last year. And I never contacted her again or called her again. So a year goes by, we're going to court. I want a jury trial because my whole thing is I was never served. They say I should know what a no contact order is. I've never had a no contact order in my life. I thought it meant you can't, come near them, or I didn't know that I couldn't call or text or email. So, and I never was threatening or anything like that. So, we go to court. We have a 2-day trial. I'm found guilty of being served and breaking this court order. And so it's a felony. And it's under domestic violence. Which, of course, there was no violence at all. There was no victim. There was no harm. There was nobody lost any money or a job or anything like that, or property. But they asked the cop that served me, supposedly served me, they said, okay, when you came up to Mr. Thompson with the no contact order, was he in handcuffs? He said, yeah. And did you read it to him? The officer said, no. She goes, then what did you do with it? And he says, I placed it on the back of his car, on the trunk outside. Okay, then what happened to the piece of paper? He says, I don't know. The jury found me guilty of being served. He says, I don't know. Well, I didn't know where it was at. I found it in my car like 10 days later, folded up 3-way on the side of my seat and my console and my weekend car, my BMW. And so I'm trying to tell my freaking public defender, hey, look, when you go to jail, when they arrest you, they take all the items off of your body, your keys, your money, your necklaces, your earrings, whatever, sunglasses, wallet. They put it all in this little envelope. You go to jail. When you get out, you get back this little bag of all your crap. Well, that no contact order was nowhere in my possession. It didn't come out with my keys and my wallet and all that. I never got it. But yet the jury somehow found me guilty, saying that, yeah, you were served, buddy. You knew exactly what you were doing, breaking this no contact order. I said, no way, but what could I do? It's a jury. And then the sentencing came up, and the judge says, well, you're being charged with a felony. I think count 4, whatever the lowest felony is. I've never had a charge in my life of a crime. Ugh. And then she says, you're going to go to jail for 15 days. And I said, Your Honor, you don't have to take me out of society for this. I have now contacted Laura at all, as I was told not to by the judge. I haven't called, I haven't texted, emailed, I haven't done anything to try to talk to her. And why would you want, I've been a good boy. She made me go to jail for 2 weeks, which sucked bad. I hated it. And I cried the entire time I was there, basically. Food sucked. I couldn't go to the bathroom. And so I finally get home, and I've got now 3 years of supervised probation. I've got to go to the probation department and talk to a probation officer. I have to be visited once a month. I have to be visited by a surveillance officer once a month, who's a total prick, asking me all kinds of strange questions and stuff. I'm like, what do you expect to find in my house to violate me, Well, you're not allowed to have guns, and we're looking for drugs, and we're looking for machetes, and well, I don't have any of that here. So I don't know what you need to go look at my bedroom for. Why you got to go look at my bathroom? Just embarrass me because it's a mess. And so I've got to deal with that every month for 3 freaking years. It's not fair. I'm appealing the whole case. We'll see what happens. Thanks.